Welcome to Activity 2 in the Music Math module, Making Rhythm Patterns. Rhythm patterns are essential and fundamental in music, but they are also one great example of math in the real world. In this module, students will create rhythm patterns and make visual representations of them. You'll need a few things to do this. Rhythm pattern squares, example which can be found on page MM13 of the Changing the Equation curriculum, markers or crayons, squares of paper or cardboard. 8-inch squares work well, but smaller squares also work just fine. Glue sticks, pieces of paper large enough to hold 4 of the squares of paper you have prepared for this activity. Before we begin, maybe it's a good idea to review our terms. Remember that rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of sound, while the beat is the underlying tempo or pace of the music. When you tap your feet to music, you're tapping off the beat. When you're humming or singing along, you're replicating the rhythm. It's time for step 1. Start your class out with some definition making. Ask them to define rhythm in their own words, and then, I think it's time for a clap off. Have everyone sit in a circle, clap out a simple rhythm, and pass it to the next student in the circle. This student then repeats the rhythm and passes it to the next. Keep going until the rhythm has passed all the way around the circle. If a student doesn't repeat a rhythm correctly, they are eliminated. Continue playing. After each round, increase the difficulty of the rhythm until there is only one student left. Play several rounds and change up who is making the rhythm for everyone to clap. This should take you about 20 minutes. Step 2. Now that they're primed, split your class into groups of 3 to 4. Let them know that this is their music group. Pass out squares of colored paper, markers or crayons, a glue stick, and a large piece of paper to accommodate the squares of colored paper. Let your students know that this large piece of paper represents a 4-count measure. You may want to clap out a 4-count measure so that they can hear what you mean. Have each group create a 4-count rhythm pattern using claps, stomps, or snaps. Different colors could be used to represent stomps, snaps, or claps, or you could have your students come up with words, pictures, or symbols to do the same. But their classmates must be able to understand and repeat the pattern. This step should take about 20 minutes as well. You could have your students glue down their squares in the order of their pattern on the large piece of paper, or, as an extension to this activity, you could have the group switch tables and remix the pattern that another group has created. Remix rules. A group can only use the sound they see in front of them. No extra sounds can be added or switched out. Then they should mix up the rhythm by switching around the sounds that they find. As another extension, think about adding new sounds like a tap, slap, or even a beat that is silent. When your groups are finished with their 4-count measures, have them perform their patterns in front of the class, show their visual depictions, and trade with another group, who should try to perform the pattern as well. Ask a few questions. Was it hard to read someone else's representation? Would it be easier if everyone was using the same symbols? Is there a trend in the symbols they have already made as a class? As a class, you can create a standard symbol library, picking your favorites or merging some together. Hand out more paper for each group so that they can rewrite their 4-count patterns using the agreed upon symbols or colors, and then glue them onto another large piece of paper. There are so many ways to extend this activity. Have fun with it. You can have them trade again and remix with the new standard symbols. You can have the whole class work on a large piece by each group taking a 4-count measure and playing them all together. The options are endless. Have fun and make music, or math.
Changing the Equation, after-school math curriculum brought to you by Explora. Funding provided by Sandia National Laboratories. Find more Changing the Equation videos at explora.us/changing-the-equation.